know, this whole point about Nigel Farage being away from everyone else, being different.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Is it him? Is it his party? Is it his policies? How does it work?
Nigel Farage, is it him, his party, his policies? It's all of it. But he is the messenger. He's the only messenger. I mean, his party is him, and that's his problem. However, as a messenger, he's fantastic, isn't he?
Well, I think what a lot of politicians in Westminster are asking is, how is he doing it?
He is a wonderful antidote to the controlled, stage-managed, soundbite arena that you have in Westminster. He says what he feels. He clearly enjoys it. He's very articulate. He seems decisive. And he's sort of up for it, where you don't feel the other party leaders are. He has a freedom, I would say.
But he's living in the same 24-hour news cycle. The pressures of the media are exactly the same for him, aren't they?
But I think with Nigel Farage, it's bring it on. And I think with David Cameron and Ed Miliband, or maybe their handlers, it's don't bring it on. I think the thing is, when you're in a smaller party and it's a rebellious party, you're trying to push through something that's probably a little more extreme, you've got to, he's doing what the Greens should be doing. You've got two, ends of the spectrum, the Greens on the left and Ukip on the right. Ukip have a leader who passionately believes in certain things, is articulating those beliefs in a way that a lot of voters relate to.
So what's Nigel Farage doing in terms of passion then, that the Greens aren't?
He uses plain, simple language, but I think the way he delivers it, he goes to the pub. He talks, he's photo ops, so sort of where, the average person would be. Although he works in the city, he drinks beer and he smokes cigarettes. It's a very sort of faux libertarian thing to do in the first place. The thing about the Ukip, they're a little bit like the Tea Party in the US. They use the word freedom and liberty a lot, as if say we're the only party who take your freedom seriously. And I think he's the embodiment of that because he speaks freely.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? How does Nigel Farage's personal brand help UKIP?
Well, it helps UKIP because he is condensing their message into simple, sort of reasonable-ish. It's sort of reasonable xenophobia, really. I've listened to him on Question Time many times, and he's impressive. I don't necessarily agree with his positions, but I think he's a persuasive individual, which is why they're garnering so much votes at the time. I mean, I think it's obviously you should always worry about a charismatic leader on the right, but I think he's doing a very, very competent job, bearing in mind the quite extreme platform that he's running on.
What about the bloke down the pub persona that he carries? What effect does that have on Nigel Farage?
Well, again, it makes him accessible. We talked earlier about humanity and authenticity. He's someone who wants to get involved. He's sort of dying to connect with everybody. And he seems to be unfettered. He's unleashed on people. He doesn't seem to be controlled or stage managed. And I think that's, for him, that's kind of his brand.
So what's the one gesture that sums him up?
Oh, his smile, obviously. He's got this huge smile. It's interesting that I think the greatest smile in global politics is President Obama. He's got a just amazing smile. And it's not like Nigel Farage's at all. But Nigel Farage's smile works really well. Blair had a brilliant smile. And I think a smile suggests that I'm happy to be here, I'm happy to talk to you, I'm having a good time, and I'm likable. And I think that's difficult. Sometimes when I see Ed Miliband smile, I think, what did you have to do to summon that up? Yeah, David Cameron doesn't smile very often. Things like that matter, and I haven't seen Natalie Bennett smile that often. And I think the sort of the having a good time comes easily to Nigel Farage, and I think that really helps him and his brand.